Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today is part 2 of my Why You Might Not Be Growing on Instagram series. So if you haven't watched part 1, please go ahead and do so now. I'll link it here. Don't worry, this video will still be here when you're done. But for everyone who has watched part 1, then yeah, stick with me, let's get to it. Okay, so you might be watching this video because you might be like, oh, I keep on getting shadow banned by Instagram, or like, oh, like no matter how many of these tips and advice that I learned from different YouTubers and different gurus, like my Instagram isn't growing. And you're probably hoping that this video is going to tell you how to stop getting shadow banned. Unfortunately, this video is not going to tell you that because I really don't believe that shadow ban is like a real thing. I feel like it's like this Instagram myth that people have made up. And for those of you who don't know what shadow banning is, basically, it's this idea that Instagram is restricting your reach, and the way that you check that Instagram is restricting your reach is by using a hashtag and then looking at the hashtag to see if your photo is in like the top 9 or, you know, top 20 photos on that hashtag, right? The reason why I don't really think shadow banning is like a legitimate thing is because you checking to see if your photo's on your hashtag and it not being there doesn't mean that Instagram's restricting your reach. It might mean that Instagram's decided that your content isn't, you know, up to par with other content using that hashtag, and that's why it's not being, you know, shown. But that would be the reason why you're not showing up on that hashtag. It won't necessarily be because you're on Instagram's naughty list. However, having your content restricted from Instagram and, you know, experiencing different issues on your Instagram, like if you're trying to like a photo or you're trying to follow someone and you get a message popping up saying that you can't do that anymore, all of that is real. So it's just that the idea of shadow banning and how you check to see if you're shadow banned isn't necessarily legit, but being in Instagram's naughty books and, you know, being penalized for it, like that's a legitimate thing. So I'm basically going to talk you through a few things that you might be doing or considering doing, which is going to get you on Instagram's naughty list and which is going to give you so much headache when it comes to running and trying to grow your Instagram page. Okay, so the first thing that you might be doing or you might be considering doing without even realizing is using broken hashtags. So this is actually a really good tip because it really isn't the most obvious one, and there's probably a lot of legitimate accounts out there who are making this mistake without even realizing. So what are broken hashtags? They are hashtags which Instagram do not like. They have restricted their access, they have banned them, they're very much on their naughty list. Like Instagram doesn't like them, okay? And when you use them, Instagram is going to flag your account and your content, and it's going to impact your reach. So what is the most interesting about this, right, is that you're probably thinking, oh, okay, well, that's probably not going to affect me because I'm not using these ridiculously, like, I don't know, garish, is that the right word to describe it? Just these ridiculously like offensive and like awful hashtags. I'm going to be fine. But there are so many hashtags on their broken hashtag list that you would not have guessed would be banned. So, an example, right? Costumes is a broken hashtag. Dating, desk is a broken hashtag. Elevator, hump day, happy Thanksgiving. Like what are people doing with these hashtags, which is making Instagram want to ban them? I don't know, but they're ruining it for everyone else. My point being that you need to do some research and just get familiar with some of the hashtags that you might potentially be using, because there's a big chance that some of them might be broken. And just in case you're wondering how you know if a hashtag is broken, you can search a hashtag on your Instagram. Just do an example. So I've just searched hashtag costumes, right? And it says underneath, recent posts for hashtag costumes are hidden because some posts may not follow Instagram's community guidelines. So it's not saying I'm definitely going to hide your channel, but it's saying, look, I might. And if you ask me, that is enough of a risk to not do it. Okay, so the second thing I want to talk about, I'm going to put it under a broad group because there's a few things that fall into this category, right? Is fake or inauthentic engagement. So for anyone who doesn't know what I mean by engagement, it is literally the stuff what people do to engage with your content. So it's liking, it's commenting, it's sharing, it's saving, all that lovely stuff. All of that is engagement. Fake engagement comes in a bunch of different forms. So the most obvious form is when people actually purchase likes from companies who own a load of bots and who send those bots out into the world to like and engage with your content. in exchange for some money from you. This, for obvious reasons, is not a good thing to do. Instagram has very strict rules on how you use their platform, and one of the main rules is that they don't like you using third-party apps, and they don't like you using bots. So anything that involves bots in general is a huge no-no. But another reason why this is actually going to hurt your growth, and not just because Instagram is going to purposely, restrict your content, is because the engagement isn't real. And if you're a budding influencer out there, because I know a lot of people who subscribe to my channel are kind of budding influencers. If you are a budding influencer out there, you may not know this, but there are so many programs out in the world which brands use to basically run like audits on your page, and these audits will tell them if you've purchased likes from a bot or if you use a third-party app. Like, technology is crazy. You might think, how would someone ever know that I'm doing this? But trust me, they have ways of finding out. Instagram have ways, and other companies have ways. So please don't ever think that you're pulling a fast one over a brand's eyes, because the chances are you're not. And even if for some reason you do manage to actually pull the wool over their eyes and get a brand collaboration, there's a really big chance that that collaboration isn't going to go well or drive any results for that brand because your engagement is fake, which means that that brand isn't going to, have a good return on investment, and they're never going to work with you again. But on the flip side, I also know that I speak to a lot of company owners out there, or like service providers or product-based companies, boutique owners. The same kind of goes for you guys. Like, faking is, but you know what, even more so for you guys, because your whole purpose of having your Instagram page, correct me if I'm wrong, is so that you can generate leads, build a community, and make some sales. If all of your engagement is fake and made by bots, those bots aren't going to purchase things from you because they're not real people. So what is the point? If they're not going to become your tribe or your advocates, or promote your brand and drive your word of mouth or purchase from you and all that marketing buzzword bollocks that that I like to use on every single video, then what is the point of having them? There's literally no point. So that is one form of kind of inauthentic engagement. Another form, which is a lot more common, because I think people think this doesn't involve bots, so it's okay, but it's also not okay, is engagement groups, and that kind of stuff. So for those of you who don't know what they are, they're basically private groups which people can join, and you have to engage with everyone's content on the group. So people share posts on the group, and in order to be part of the group, they have to like all of the content in that group from the past 24, 48 hours or something, right? So what that basically means is that you have this huge job of liking loads of people's content, which is going to mess up the algorithm for you, and Instagram's not going to know what you actually like because all of your engagement is fake. So that's one issue. And then in return, you're going to get a lot of people liking your content. The problem and the issue with this is, right, again, these people liking your content, they're not liking it because they actually like your content. So it doesn't mean anything. It's not going to help you grow because it isn't real engagement. It's not going to help you grow your business. It's not going to help you get brand collabs. It's not going to help anything because the people who are liking your content don't actually like your content. They're doing it because they have to, basically. So please avoid any form of fake or inauthentic engagement. Another flip side of this that you knew I had to talk about, there's no way I could do this video without talking about it, is fake followers. I feel like everyone knows by now that fake followers aren't the way to go, but just in case you're still considering it, I'll talk a bit about why it doesn't work. Fake followers are obviously also bots. And the reason why fake followers don't work is very similar to why inauthentic engagement doesn't work. People following you aren't real, so therefore they're not going to engage with your content, and they're not going to support your brand, they're not going to purchase from you, they're not going to, drive word of mouth for you. They're not going to do any of that stuff because they're not real, they're fake. Also, Instagram can definitely detect when you've got fake followers. It's actually super easy for anyone to see when you have fake followers. I could go on someone's Instagram account right now, go through their following list, and I actually do this for anyone, all my clients that I work with, whether brands or influencers. I will go through their following list and I will look to see if they have any fake bots. I also have access to programs that I can use, but I will mostly do it by hand because it's really easy. A fake bot basically normally sometimes doesn't have a profile photo, sometimes they do. They're usually following a ton of people and don't have many followers, and they don't usually have any content. So it's really easy to spot them. So if I can spot it really easily, imagine what brands and everyone else can see. It's inauthentic and it's not worth it. Another thing worth knowing, just on the fake follower vibe that we're talking about, is follow trains. and all that kind of stuff that people do. I'm not going to repeat myself for the same reasons it doesn't work. If you're doing anything, if you're basically bribing anyone to follow you or engage with you in exchange for you following or engaging with them, then it's not going to work because it's not authentic. They don't actually like your content. And that also goes for, you know, recently I've been getting a lot of messages from people kind of saying, hey, can you follow my page and I'll follow yours, or can you support my content and I'll support yours? Or, you know, more than anything, what I've definitely started getting is people messaging me saying, hey, I just subscribed to you on YouTube, can you subscribe to me back? So I don't want this to come off really badly, because I'm sure a lot of those people are just genuinely like, I like your content, let's support each other, in which case fair enough. However, I do get the impression that a lot of those people are just expecting like a sub for sub or a follow for follow, and I don't want you to follow me or subscribe to my channel if you don't like my content and you're not interested in watching my videos, or on Instagram if you're not interested in actually engaging with my content and you're not getting anything from it. That's not the kind of following that I want, and it's not the kind of following that you should want either. It's not the kind of following that you deserve. You deserve a fan base of proper advocates who love your content and get excited when you post. Like, that's what you deserve, not a following who do not care about anything you post. You probably don't even show up on their page because they interact with you so little that you're not even, you know, Instagram's algorithm isn't even showing your content to them. That's not what you deserve. You deserve real followers. Okay, so I don't want this to be a long video because it is a two-parter, and I do talk a lot about other things you could be doing, which is stunting your Instagram growth, on my part 1 of the video, which I'm sure you've all watched, so you'll know this, but it's very much about kind of your content strategy and your value offering and stuff. But I do want to reference this because this is more of a more recent thing that I've seen going around. There's this ad on YouTube, and you know what? I bet you the second I get monetized, I bet you money that this ad is probably going to be placed on this video. So, you know, depending on you're watching, you might know exactly what ad I'm talking about. There is an ad what's going around where they basically say, you know, are you struggling to grow on Instagram and you don't want to use bots, but like the reason why bots don't work is because they're not following by Instagram's guidelines. Like, you need a method or a service which is going to adhere to Instagram's guidelines but still help you grow. And basically, I'm sure there's a few companies will do this, but what they do is like they still use bots, but the way they use bots is that they direct message people asking them to follow your account. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure people have experienced growth with this, don't get me wrong, but I need to just flag it because they're masking themselves under this disguise of like, we follow the guidelines, but you're a third-party app, so you still don't follow the guidelines. The guidelines, what Instagram want you to do is to be authentic with your engagement, and they want you to earn your following and your likes. If you're taking any shortcut to get there, it's not going to work, and Instagram are going to notice and eventually crack down on you. So it might be that Instagram isn't cracking down on you for this type of stuff yet, but they will. Trust me. Okay, so that is it. I'm concluding my 2-part series on why you might not be growing on Instagram. I'm probably going to do more of these in the future because Instagram is always changing their rules. People are always coming out with new bots and apps and stuff which are going to claim that they're going to help you grow, and they're not. So I'm going to keep a keen eye on those type of things, and I'm going to be sure to update you with new tips or rules or guidelines that's going to help you on your organic growth journey. Thank you so much for watching. If you were interested in this video and you found it useful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe, but also check out this video. It is all about how you can hit Instagram's explore page, which is going to make a huge difference to the rate of your growth. So be sure to check it out if you're interested in growing your Instagram channel. Thanks, I will see you in the next video.